So for the people out there that I know they're going to come around sooner or later and say that this had nothing to do with race, yes, it did. And yes, it does. Because again, there is no reason to go so in depth and to want to get a specific type of response from a grown adult. If a person tells you that they hear you, they understand, got it, that's it. There's no reason to keep going deeper, to keep trying to follow up, and to list all of these other things. Again, if you can't see it, it's not for me to try to make you understand. The only thing I will make you understand is that sooner or later, the same treatment that people have been delivering out to Black people is soon enough going to be returned. So when you guys are looking for help, Black people are going to stand down, just like everybody else has stood down whenever it is that Black people actually needed them the most.
Delta has guidelines, and I don't have to explain to you. You can take it off, or you can leave the airplane. It is inappropriate. I'm not going to take vulgar language on the flight.
Okay.
Verbal or written.
Okay.
You understand? Do you understand the two options?
Yeah, I heard you, sir.
No. Do you understand it?
I said I heard you.
Do you understand it?
Y'all hear this?
Do you understand what two options are?
I'm not going to ruin your birthday.
For the
I'm not going to
entire
ruin your birthday.
flight,
Then you pointing. Don't point your finger at
or
us.
you leave.
Don't point your finger at us.
You got it?
Don't point your finger at us.
Okay. So which is it? Tell me now. Which is it?
Tell you what? The hat is off. It is nothing to tell you. The hat is right here in my lap.
For the entire flight.
The hat is in my lap.
For the entire flight. It will not be worn the entire flight.
It's in my lap.
I didn't answer that. I see where it is.
The hat is in my lap.
Tell me.
You asked me to take the hat off. The hat's in my lap.
Tell me it's off for the entire flight.
The hat's in my lap.
1001, 1002. I got 6 kids. I raised 10 kids. I know better.
The hat. I'm not a child, sir. The hat is in my lap.
Okay. So you agree not to wear it or post that hat the entire flight. Is that correct?
Now, I want people to understand that this is obviously a melanated woman, right? Two melanated women. The flight captain, instead of being in the cockpit and, dealing with the plane, remember, he has everybody's lives in his hands, literally. Instead of him checking on the plane, make sure everything is everything, he decides that he wants to go through the aisle and he wants to make this hat an issue. There's nothing wrong with the hat. There is a such thing as freedom of speech. And again, I've seen a lot worse things, especially if I look at people's clothing and the stuff that people decide to wear, especially on flights or out in public, and then they want to decide to sit their rear end in said clothing, on a seat, on a bus, in a cab, in an Uber. And realistically, to me, I feel like that is unsanitary because there is no type of layer there protecting people from, your lack of washing or whatnot or whatever, right? So there's a lot more pressing issues, out there. This captain decided that he wanted to make this the biggest issue, and it made no sense. It literally made no sense. He was like, "Hey, I've raised 10 kids. What does that have to do with a grown woman? This is a grown woman at the end of the day. It's not one of your children." Again, he's back in the mind frame of that. This is like the 1960s, 50s, 40s. He really feels like it's that era, on top of the fact that he is the captain of the plane. So he's like, well, I'm having flashbacks like World War II. Also, I'm the captain of the plane. And also, look at my complexion. Look at yours. I'm the authority here. You're going to listen to me. And if I tell you that you understand me, you must answer, yes, Captain. Right? He was looking for a very specific answer, which didn't make any sense. Everything that she stated acknowledged what it is that he said, but that still was not enough. He was still pressing for the specific answer that he wanted, which is crazy to me. She doesn't have to give specific wording in order for you to understand and know that, hey, the hat is going to be off. You hear me, bud? Like that's crazy to me. That's 100% crazy. And to see all the other people there just listening, not saying nothing, is amazing. It is astonishing. Because let it be known, if this was anybody else that just so happened to have more than likely had that hat, the conversation would not have been what it was. It would not have gone on for the 1 minute plus duration that we were able to see and witness. The type of tone that he had directly with her, he would not have had that with other people. Again, this was such a non-issue, given the fact that there are more serious things to really be more worried and concerned about. But yet, I promise you, let others out there get a hold of the video. They're going to make a reaction saying, "Oh yeah, the captain was justified. He's a grandfather. He probably served in some type of sense of form. I'm only guessing, but I'm just looking at the seriousness. I'm looking at the determination. I'm looking at a weathered man who has seen a lot of things, and he's worked his life, and the last thing that he wanted to see on his plane is to see somebody with vulgar language, because more than likely in his life, he doesn't even use anything like that. So, why would he want to see anything like that? I'm pretty sure it's quite disturbing to him. And if it's disturbing to him, then it's disturbing to the other passengers. So he's justified in his actions because he's not only, speaking for himself, but he's also speaking for the passengers. At the end of the day, this captain is a clown. He's, a person from past events, and he is still trying to cling on to the ways of how it used to be. And for him to literally do this tells you a lot about a person. For the female workers that were there, that literally watched, and some of them kind of made some eye contact with the women there, and for them to not speak or say anything is completely crazy. For the passengers to hear this go on and not say anything, yet again, it's crazy, and it's quite telling and quite pressing the society that we're living in at this moment in time. But I will tell you this: let there be a moment in time that any of those passengers who witnessed that, who even heard it, were in any type of distressing situation, they will look to those two women to do a call of action or some type of help. And I hope that those two women decide to look away and stand down, because, as I stated before, we need to have a different type of treatment out here. The same way that people decide that they want to act, you need to deliver those exact same actions to everybody else, so that people can actually start to get an understanding of how, if you do negative treatment, you will receive that exact same negative treatment. So if you refuse to actually help when somebody needs it, somebody else along the lines when you need it is going to decide to do the same thing. So again, I guess that's going to go into the whole area of everybody's going to be blind, because an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. I guess we're all going to be blind, because again, it has to come to a point in time where people are going to understand. And people, if they're not going to understand genuinely, then you have to make people understand. And the way to do that is by Black people giving out the exact same energy in return that everybody else gives. Again, like I said before, if people want to sit up there and follow the leader, then so be it. But anyways, as always, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.